Messy on Purpose.
I'm Heather,
And I'm Fylisha.
and today we are going to talk about self-care.
Yes, the importance of taking care of yourself in many different ways and what that means to each individual. We're all a little different, right?
I was going to say, actually, in researching this, talking to different people, kind of going online to see, I think the most important word in that is self, because everybody has a different definition of what self-care is.
Yeah.
I mean, we can talk about what our version of self-care is and why self-care is so important to each of us.
All right, you want to start?
So for me personally, having the business, having the kids, I am always pouring into everybody else, whether it's family, friends, just answering clients, being at work, and I really don't give myself that much time. And I think one of the most important quotes that I've ever heard is that you can't pour from an empty cup. And we're constantly depleting ourselves to give to other people. And you've got to find ways to kind of give back to yourself so that you do have the energy to keep pouring into other people. So self-care for me, I don't have a lot of time for it, but it is really important. And I'm learning the older I get, the more important it is. What about for you?
Well, what do you do for self-care, though?
Oh
didn't
my
really
gosh.
even dive into that. You just kind of explained why you do it.
So for me, it probably sounds crazy being a hair salon owner, because I do think there is importance in the small things like getting your hair done, getting your nails done, doing your makeup, taking a long bath. But for me, the things that have been really helpful are therapy, spending time with family and friends where it's just having fun, especially laughing, being able to joke around, dancing. I know everybody gets tired of seeing all the videos of me dancing around, but my God, it is so good for yourself.
And we have so much fun with those videos.
I do. I have so much fun dancing. I'm dancing all the time. People probably hate it, but I love it. And then just taking time sometime during the day, whether it's driving to work or even in the back of my salon, where I actually remember to breathe and just breathe for a few minutes, because in the chaos, I found myself yesterday, our salon was full, things were chaotic, and I just didn't feel good. And I stopped and I was like, I don't even think I'm breathing. Like, you're shallowly breathing, but not just breathing. And just doing that for the few seconds or minutes that I did made such a huge difference in the day, because it was like, okay, now I feel better. So for me, self-care is really about those kind of things: prayer, meditation, breathing, peace and quiet. Reading is really good for me. And then some of the superficial things too.
Little things that would just make you feel pretty.
Yes.
Yeah. I will say I've tried the meditation thing.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you would have a difficult time.
I had a really hard time. So I even tried, first I just tried to do it, different times of the day. And no, I can't stop thinking about all the things that I have to do and checklists. That's a big problem with a type A person, is I'm just constantly checking my list and adding more things and how much can I get done in a day. And so yeah, breathing work doesn't necessarily work because I can't shut my brain off to do it. And then I was trying to do it in the morning, when I first got up, before I'd go work out, and yeah, I fell asleep. So that didn't work.
I mean, it quieted your mind enough for you to fall asleep. So
I think I just wasn't awake yet, so I went back to sleep.
Put you back to sleep.
So meditation doesn't really work. Sometimes just taking a breath, a deep breath, does help though. Because you've seen me run around, even just setting stuff up and acting like a crazy person, or when we had the UFC fights, and I'm like, what else can I do?
What am I doing?
Is everyone good? Do you have drinks?
Is just going.
Yeah, and I'm a freaking nutcase, and so sometimes just telling myself to stop and take a deep breath and it's fine, chill out.
Yeah.
That does help. But when it comes to self-care, there's the working out every day. I don't function right if I don't get a workout in. Even on days that I don't go to the gym, if I don't walk the dog, it makes a difference. I just need some type of exercise, because I am such a energetic and go person. I think it's a release for me.
Mhm.
And so that one's really important. Like I'm a different person on a day that I work out and a day that I don't. That is 100%. And then also just like eating right too. I know like I know they say it like right that all these little healthy habits are good for you, and like people will be like, well, you're missing out on this and you're missing out on that, and actually you're not though. Like once you like give up sugar, say like when I did the carnivore diet, I felt amazing. I wasn't eating enough, which is why I don't do it anymore. Because like I again
It's hard to eat
energetic
that much meat
and
all the time.
well, actually no, it wasn't even the diet itself. It was actually just like I just underate, and it's you don't feel hungry on it. So like I just wouldn't eat, and then I actually started to get dizzy and stuff like that and then it affected working out because I didn't have the energy because I wasn't eating enough. And to me, like I need the energy to be able to work out because that's a huge part of it for me. So that's honestly why I stopped doing it. Otherwise I would keep up with it. But like feeling good feels better than eating a donut or a piece of cake or a cookie or sugary coffee. Like,
well, that's a temporary fix,
right?
It's a temporary thing,
and
it
so
feels
like
good in that moment.
When you're eating healthy and you feel good, you don't even really want that stuff. And then like if you do, it's an occasional thing. Granted, I will say I do not have an addictive personality. I don't get stuck on things. Like I can give them up pretty easy. So like again, that makes it a little easier for me. But I can tell you right now, like when you feel good all around and you take care of yourself, it's a game changer. You're a whole nother person, and it not only helps like your relationships because now you're happier, and it just helps overall. So like those are my two important things. And then you have your superficial stuff like going to get Botox, coming to see you to get my hair done. I used to get my nails done. I don't do that anymore because honestly it's not relaxing, and it's really not worth it because I don't really care what my nails look like. Like I don't.
They look beautiful.
Like they grow out fine. They don't look weird or anything. So like
it's not a necessity.
They're just not colored, like. And so it's just like the only thing I do like to do pedicures, and that is relaxing. Yeah. But getting your nails done is not relaxing. Like at least a pedicure you can scroll on social media or read a book, or I bring my laptop because I'm crazy and I work. I think I bring that thing everywhere.
Yeah,
I mean,
you do.
Literally everywhere.
The laptop is attached.
It goes, I don't stop. Like, what's wrong with me? But yeah, I would say like those things are nice, but they don't feel as good as like the things that you do. Like you mentioned, reading. That one's huge too. I know I've mentioned 75 hard on previous episodes, but like that you have to read every single night. Like it's huge. It's game changer. And like I used to read, like not even just doing 75 hard, but like every single night. I've kind of ran out of books to read at this point. That's part of my problem. But I bought like a sit down bike because again, I'm a crazy person. And I was like, ooh, I can bike and read. Like I just love it. Like I love learning new things. I want to like take some online courses and learn more about like digital marketing and like things like that, and like just constantly growing my skills. It's weird, but I love to try new things. I'm not scared to try a new career. Like I actually really enjoy trying new stuff. Like when it comes to work, like I've worked in so many different industries and so many different jobs, and like there's nothing that I loved like more than the learning process. And then like the bad part is like I get bored and then I look for something else. But
so you saying that actually circles back because you were talking about like with the dieting and working out and you getting bored and stuff. I think with the meditation, with the changing your diet, with the working out, those are all habits that have to be developed and formed, because I can tell you with the breath work, obviously I started that when I was pregnant and going to have a baby, because it was like you can get pain medication, sometimes you can't get pain medication, and there is a lot of power in your breathing and a lot of control in your breathing, and I had to learn that in labor, having a 10-pound plus baby with no pain medication.
And I would have never thought about that when it comes to having a baby. Like working on your breath work, like Who even thinks about that?
Listen, he was 10 pounds, 4 ounces, and I pushed that sucker.
But you didn't know that at first.
I did not know it, and I thought I was going to have pain medication, but they do teach you breathing work if you do like Lamaze and things like that. And some of the most painful things that I've gone through in this life, physically, I've had to use breath work to get through it. Like, and the power over your mind is a lot harder to harness than I think even power over your body. So when I started the meditation, my brain is always going to, and I would be laying there like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just stop my brain? Because you're trying to focus on the breathing, but then, did the kids finish that project? And did I respond to this client? Is the oven off? Just all these thoughts.
This is the difference between males and females, by the way.
Yeah, and it's you just want to calm, and it has taken me years to get to the point where I can kind of just lay there and breathe and think about the things that I want to think about, calming myself, doing affirmations, okay, today, because it's so easy to start off on a negative foot in your thinking process, and we'll actually talk about that. Yes. But it's a lot easier to let those negative thoughts in, so you have to learn to kind of control, and that takes time, just like changing your diet, just like exercising. Those are habits that have to be formed. So,
have you ever read the book Atomic Habits?
I have not.
Okay, I'm going to bring it to you. Okay. It's a great book.
I will read it.
Okay, I'm going to bring it to you. It's really, really good.
So in us preparing for this, I actually researched. I was looking some stuff up about self-care because we've talked to a few people. We both posted it on our social media. What is your definition of self-care? What do you do to feel better? And a lot of the answers were the superficial things I think that we think of automatically, being women, getting your hair done, getting your nails done, doing face masks, getting massages. And I was researching the importance of self-care, and a statistic that I told Fylisha is they said on average we have over 60,000 thoughts pass through our head in a day, and over 80% of those are negative thoughts.
I think I double those thoughts.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
which means you
double
have
the
a lot more
negativity.
negative thoughts. And why does that play a role in self-care is because with stress, we're affected in many, many ways, but stress is very detrimental to our health, and stress is actually a killer. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It kills people. Stress can take a toll on your heart, your blood pressure. So having all these negative thoughts in your head and having stress, what do we do to decrease that? What ways can we help ourselves to be less stressed?
And we are a maker of it. A lot of stress that we carry on a day-to-day basis is our fault.
Self-induced.
I mean, I self-induce it all the time. Mm-hmm. I bring the laptop everywhere because I keep adding work to my schedule. It's not like I have to do this podcast or I have to edit the videos. I can have somebody else do that, but I choose to do it myself, and that is adding to my stress.
Type A personality.
It won't stop, and and there's other people too that they add things to their schedule, or maybe deal with people that they shouldn't, which adds stress, because we have a choice on everything that we do. Whether it's the job that you're working that you hate, go get another one.
Yeah,
there's other jobs. I'm not telling you to quit your job right now and then go look for a job. Look for a job while you're in that current job. If you don't like the person that you're dating, why are you dating them? Why do you continue to do it? History means nothing. Change it. Or that family member that's always on you or telling you, negative stuff about yourself and putting you down, and or that friend that's just bringing all the drama but never fixing anything in their life, but it's adding to yours. Yep. Why do you continue to let those things happen? Yep. And I think that once we start taking responsibility for those items that we can control, because if you can't control it, there's nothing you can do about it, right?
Well, and
but
also,
there are things
going and getting a haircut or something isn't going to make those things go away.
Not at all. You might feel good for an hour.
So that's the difference between, I think, there is a level of superficial self-care where we do something that makes us feel good in that moment and gives you a little boost in, what is it, serotonin or dopamine or whatever, where you're like, oh, my hair looks great, or, my nails look good, or I got a facial. But I think self-care really has to start with the internal work. And that being, like we talked about with the exercise, maybe therapy, talking about the issues that you have, coming up with game plans to tackle those stressors in your life.
Therapy's great for someone who doesn't know where to start.
Yeah.
Doesn't know where to start. I do not think it's an ultimate solution because at some point you can't just talk about it. You have to make those decisions. Yeah. And a lot of people will go to therapy and continue to go to therapy, but not like actually change anything. And that is a problem too. Yeah. You have to put the action to, those changes that you want to make. Otherwise you'll never see anything different. Yeah. And so I do think it's a great place for people to start that don't know where to start.
Or even if you can't, because I think there are times, for myself personally speaking, doing therapy, the things that I thought were the problem were just results of other problems that hadn't been dealt with. So therapy is really good at kind of getting to the root of the problem, like why do I react in certain ways to different things, because it's something from the past. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could sit with a therapist every day of the week, but if you're not doing anything to change the things that are in your life that are causing you stress,
nothing's changing.
You
have to put action to anything you want to do, any goal and anything. Otherwise, nothing changes. Yeah. That's why people stay in miserable jobs, or they whine about their life, or, or the people that are like, I have no life because I have kids. Like, no, you choose that. You choose that. Like, look at you. You're a single mom. Single. Not, there's not mom and dad are at home. Like, I can leave for a little bit and dad's got the kids. Like, you are a single mom, yet you still find time to do stuff like this. Own your own business. We have girls' nights. Like, that. It doesn't stop you just because you had kids from doing anything. You chose to not do anything.
It's easier to make excuses. Yeah. And to justify. And let's be honest, like, your mental health is a big part of it too, because as a single mom, there have definitely been times where it's like, God, I don't even want to, like, obviously I still have to work because I have responsibilities and I have people that depend on me. But as far as like having a social life or taking care of myself, those were put way back on the back burner. So I understand there are definitely stages where it's like, I just don't have the energy or the want, and it's easier to complain and be like, well, I can't do that because, they're depending on me, or I need to spend time doing this or whatever. But at a certain point, you can choose to stay down or you can get back up as well.
And like, I don't know if you agree or not, but like, if you're not putting the time into yourself, that affects your family too. Oh, yeah. Like, right? Like, if you're not doing those self-care things, like going to the gym, eating right, reading books, meditation, therapy, that's
then
going
mom's here, but mom's miserable, which means everybody's miserable.
Right. So, like, the kids aren't having a good time when you are doing something with them, or you're going to, like, one of their sports events, or, whatever goes on at schools anymore, because I don't even know anymore. But, like...
the same old stuff.
Like, you go to these events, and you're just miserable, so you're just kind of sitting there with, like...
And the people in your life definitely feel that, and it affects them as well. For sure.
The one, like, I would think as a mother, like, the one person or people in your life that you want to be happy is your kids.
Oh, absolutely.
So, like, I mean, everybody else, it is what it is. Like, you go around and you're grumpy and, like, it affects, somebody else. Like, oh, well, like, you're not really thinking about it. Like, but, like, your kids, like, you want them to be happy. And, like, if you're around and you're, complaining about everything or you're grumpy or, like, I know, like, when my mom was, like, in a mood, like, she was scary. Like, I tiptoed around, like, it was uncomfortable. I thought I was going to get in trouble, like, so, like, it's not something that, like, you want to do, but at the same time, if you're not willing to do the things outside because of how you feel at the moment, then
that's emotional regulation, and I strongly stand behind the saying, fake it till you make it. I mean, there have been, I'm not going to lie, I'll keep it real. there have been times where I'm driving home from work and I'm so overwhelmed with just life and everything that I have to take care of. I will be crying on my way home. And by the time I pull into my driveway, you got to dry those tears up. And then I'm going in my kids. I don't want them to know the things that I carry. And I have children that are older now, so they have been, more of a support system to me as they've gotten older and they start to realize what life is about and everything's not easy breezy.
One of yours is an
beautiful.
adult,
Yeah,
like
they're like, but mom is really out here doing this stuff. But I feel like my job as a mom is to carry those burdens, not my children to carry those burdens. So there are a lot of times where I have 1,000 different things going on in my head, but I have to be mom. And that means we're having a good time. We're laughing. We're watching movies. We're doing whatever. What has gotten me to that point is pouring back into myself and taking care of myself.
It does. So that's what it took to get you there, though. Because not everyone's like that.
Yeah.
Right? And then if you're not doing the things. And, like, something as simple as, I get it. People don't want to get up and go to the gym. Or they don't want to work out throughout the day. They don't want to go for that walk. They don't want to eat, some meat and protein instead of junk food. But, like, just because you don't want to do it doesn't mean you shouldn't. Like, it's not motivation that gets people to where they're going. Like, you're not motivated to make those changes, go to therapy and work on yourself and, take time to meditate and all of that stuff. But you do it not because you're motivated to do it, because you're determined to do it.
Because I have like, failure is not an option for me. That is one of my favorite. I know I'm throwing out a lot of quotes, but listen, these help me get through, okay? These little sayings and quips. Failure is not an option. She also posts
them on her story sometimes.
I do. Listen.
She shares the love.
It's not only for everybody else, it's for myself, too. I have affirmations written on my mirror where I get ready in the morning.
And if that works.
I would rather tell myself positive things and feed myself positive things than let the negative overtake. And like I said, for me, failure is not an option. So it's not like I'm going to quit. I can't quit. I don't have the option of quitting. What do I have to do to keep going? And in order to do that, I have to take care of myself. Because if I'm not loving me, who can I expect to love me? I think we were talking about it earlier. You look in the mirror and you're like, God, I look tired this morning, or God, my hair is not doing right. I have this freaking cowlick in the back that always makes me it's the bane of my existence. My hair never wants to lay right, and you're looking in the mirror and you're telling yourself all these things, and you're like, we're supposed to love ourselves. How are we loving other people and taking care of other people if we're not loving myself first?
Yeah.
So I do, as cheesy as it sounds, on my mirror, it's like, I am beautiful, like, just these different things, and I'll change it. Like, I want that to be what I see when I'm looking in the mirror at myself, because it's a lot easier to point out all of the flaws and the negatives. And so sometimes you kind of have to reinforce the positive thinking. But I have to do that in order to love my children properly and love my friends and love the people in my life. I have to love myself first.
It starts there.
It does.
If you're not willing to put in the work, and like I said, it's not easy.
No.
It's not something you wake up every day motivated to do.
God, I love myself so much. What can I do to take care of
myself? I get
myself?
up at 3 a.m. because I hate a busy gym.
Yeah.
And the only reason I do that is because I hate the busy gym. And I like to get so much done before I start my day at 7 a.m. And I don't do that with motivation. It is not easy.
I don't just decide 3 a.m.
I put my phone across the room so I have to get out of bed. Like, I lay out my clothes. Like, none of that. Like, I do all of that because it's so hard to get up in the morning. And I get up and I go, and I'm not usually motivated in the first 20 minutes of my workout, but eventually it, like, okay, now I'm feeling it. Now I'm getting into it. And, like, it's not easy. And especially when you're starting out and doing new habits of any kind of habit. Like,
and don't you think people will be like, well, you enjoy working out? Listen.
They say it to me all the time.
You develop the enjoyment of feeling your blood pumping and like how you feel afterwards and the results of working out. But I don't think there's a single person alive that's like, God, this is just so much fun.
I just want to
like,
do it all day long.
I want to work out. I want to
No.
get up at 3 a.m. to work out.
No, I do enjoy it. I think more than other people, right? Like
Yeah.
I do I'm an active person. Like I just enjoy it in general. Like if I was actually good at a sport, I'd probably play a sport.
Yeah.
Like I'm not, because I'm not coordinated, but but you know, like you know, like, but I go not because I enjoy it, but because I feel good and it helps me develop things that I want to develop, and you know, like the determination, and it's a habit that you build. Like if I get out of whack with it, it takes me a couple weeks to get back into the routine.
Yeah.
I go to the gym and I'm like, oh, I look like crap. Like I don't feel good.
I don't feel like
a couple weeks later, I'm like, heck,
I can't wait to go. But that's developing that habit too.
Yes.
Where
Which
you're
usually
starting
takes
off and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this.
And they do say it like takes 6 weeks to develop a habit.
Yeah.
So you have to do it every day for 6 weeks to develop that habit. And if you're not willing to put in the work, it's never going to happen.
And a lot of people, listen, one of the statistics that I saw this morning, and I was like, my God, is that true? But then I went to like my screen time, which in all fairness, and I'm not trying to make excuses, but I use my phone for everything, not only with my children, but the salon, my clients, scheduling people, confirming people, our videos, like social media. My phone gets used an excessive amount, but they said on average people will watch TV up to 5 hours a day, and social media, I think the averages were between 8 to 12 hours a day that people are on and off their phones, social media and stuff. And
well, most people do it in front of the TV.
Yeah, you're sitting there like TV's going, you're scrolling your social media, you might be texting people, but you don't have the time to do a 30-minute workout or read a book for 30 minutes.
Anyone that tells me they don't have time spends at least 2 hours in front of the TV a day.
Oh, yeah.
At least.
I have the TV on for background noise a lot of the
Me
time,
too.
where it's just like, but I do, in the very tight schedule that I have, there are absolutely times where, you know, I could go get a workout or I could do something else, but it's like, it feels better to sit here and do like a Netflix binge. I'm not going to lie. And that can be self-care sometimes if it's not a consistent habit where you're spending all your free time doing those things. Like, it's nice every once in a while to lay down and like binge the TV show that you've been wanting to see. But if you're doing that every day or every time you have free time, that's when it becomes problematic.
And I'm usually doing something like when I'm watching TV, like I'm on my computer, or like I have that. Sometimes I have the TV on, I'm on my bike, I'm on my computer, all at once.
Yeah.
And not telling anybody else to do crazy things that I do, but like sometimes for a self-care thing, like I'll shut the computer, I'll put my phone down, and I'll just chill on the couch with Justin and watch a show. Yeah. Like sometimes I do that. It's not very often. It's probably once every other week
for
like
a movie or something, like Christmas movies right now.
It's nice to
just to take that time and put everything else away.
And it's also giving a little too, right? Like you're giving your time to someone else,
and
like
attention.
Yeah, you're giving it to the kids. I'm giving it to Justin, like, because I am really bad. I'm really bad about giving my time at home to him. Like going on dates and stuff, we're pretty frequent with that. Like
even the time, you may be giving him your time, but attention is between, you know, your phone, what's going on, Nala, like you've got all these different things happening. So to be able to tap in that time and attention, like I said the other night, we watched Elf because we're getting into the holiday season, and my youngest was like, Mommy, please, let's. So I went and, speaking of diet, listen, we had eggnog, we had pumpkin pie.
Hey.
But we all sat there, like, just to sit there and watch the movie, put your phone away, just your attention and time is right there dedicated to them and watching that Christmas movie. It meant so much to him, and it was like, this is nice to just have one thing for your attention to be on instead of it being spread so thin.
And sometimes it's like peaceful for your mind a little bit too. Like I shut stuff off to do that yesterday actually. Like I shut my computer. I was like, okay, I just need to like relax. Yeah. And like it just kind of calms your mind. And like I don't do that very often. I mean, you know me.
Yeah.
So
it's hard to imagine that.
Yeah. So like I do it like I probably do it as little as once a month, like
Mm-hmm.
where I just kind of just shut it off. Otherwise, I mean, even like sometimes when I like shut the computer, I'm still thinking about things.
Yeah.
Like I've tried to take naps with Justin on the couch.
And you're like,
Oh yeah, I gotta do this,
mm-hmm.
this. I mean, I time block my freaking day in my head.
Yeah.
I don't even need it on an app
Mm-hmm.
or my calendar.
Yeah.
It's in my head. I know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing. Like this morning,
Mm-hmm.
I got up and like I took the dog for a walk, and then I was like, okay, now I got this amount of time to get reports done before I get ready, and then I get ready, and then I gotta pack everything up, and then like it's all blocked out all the time. So like to even like make space for that little bit of calming, but my brain doesn't shut off because I'm like, well, I still have 1,500 things to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm buried in editing at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just it never stops. And then on top of it, like it's weird because it's past tax season.
Yeah.
And that's our busy season.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm busier now than during tax season because I'm not doing the taxes.
Yeah.
I'm now prepping for things like 1099s in January and getting everyone's books up to date, and like so like I'm just like buried in work, buried in editing, buried in like us trying to do this, like, and it's just like, how do you shut your brain off?
Mm-hmm.
How?
See, Fylisha needs some self-care.
And yeah, no, I just need a really, really hard workout. That's what I really need.
Sometimes sweating it out. And one thing that I wanted to bring up that also found out this morning is we were talking about, I guess, environmental psychology, because I think it's become a big trend recently with like the grounding and people talking about how they go outside and put your feet in the grass and be out in nature. And it's kind of faddish, but it is so important. And the research that I read this morning was talking about how being outside in nature not only improves your mood, your cognitive skills, delays the aging process of your brain. It helps overturn white blood cells, which help you internally fight off infections, help your health. Being out in nature is one of the greatest stress reliefs that you can have. But
I can confirm that. Like I use it as a stress relief.
Amazing.
Like if I'm so stressed out because I'm working on something and it's not working out or whatever it is, and I go for a walk with my dog.
Outside.
Like I literally just go for a walk, and it helps tremendously.
Yeah.
And most of the people that I work with do the same thing.
Yeah.
They all go for walks just to kind of clear your head if it's been a long day, if something's stressful, you dealt with a hard client, whatever it might be. Just going outside for 10 minutes.
Well, let's be honest, you're getting not only fresh air, but you're getting vitamin D from being out in the sunshine. There's something to be said. We are animalistic by nature, but we spend up to 93% of our lives inside walls, inside of our cars, inside of our homes, for our children's schools. Like, we are meant to be more out in nature, and I think that's why there's healing properties of being by water, by being by the ocean, lakes, rivers, being up, going to Mount Charleston, going for hikes. So I think that's a really big component of self-care for me, especially.
Yeah, I mean that's why I walk my dog every day, right? Like it's you're outside, you're relaxed, you're getting fresh air. I mean, kind of, because sometimes it's windy here, and then you're taking in some dust.
Las Vegas isn't the greatest for fresh air, but I will tell you, I take every opportunity that I can. At my kids, one of my sons last night was like, "Mom, going to Bullhead, because we'll go visit my dad in Bullhead, which is away from the city." He said it's the closest thing to being in heaven, because you have the Colorado River there, they have the lakes, and we are outside all the time when we're there. Like my dad and my stepmom are huge on like hiking, going out in the Jeeps, going up to the mountains, and we are outside most of the time that we're there. And I feel like every time we go, I come back recharged.
Oh yeah,
it's like you're drained, and then you go and you're just out walking, hiking.
That's why we go
in
camping.
The grass, and it's like,
yeah, go camping, go hiking, like all of that. I mean, here it does suck in the summer.
Yeah,
the summertime sucks. I still walk my dog. I just do it super early. Honestly, probably about the same time that like 6 a.m. ish. Yeah. It's about the time I still take her, even though it's cold.
It is.
But like 6 a.m. is when the ground's like the least I'm so weird. I figured out the perfect time to
Yeah.
walk my dog.
Yeah.
But the ground is the least hot, so it doesn't burn her paws. But like, it's still hot. It's still 100 degrees at 6 a.m. in the middle of the desert in the summertime. And so like, it's a lot harder to get fresh air here because we have so much summer. And then it does get kind of cold in like the winter, but I'll take the walks in the winter here over summer.
The summer.
Yeah. But like, it's still possible. It's still possible. Or like a simple.
I'm playing footsie with
That's okay.
Hey.
But it's still possible. I mean, Mount Charleston is not that far.
Yeah.
I lived probably the furthest from it, and we still go out there. And like, it's 70 degrees, and it's nice, and you can still go out there. Or there is the Colorado River. I don't know if you've been out to like Nelson Ghost Town, but like if you go right past there, it takes you down to the Colorado River. Yeah. It's super nice. Or
that's what the Colorado River runs through Bullhead and Laughlin too.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I don't think that it is a coincidence that our rates of depression increase as the amount of time that people actually spend outdoors decreases.
Yeah.
Vitamin D deficiency, I push this all the time to my clients. One of the first things I ask my clients when they say they're losing their hair is whether they're under stress, or whether they've had their blood checked to see if they're deficient in anything, and specifically if they've had their vitamin D levels checked. Because when we don't spend enough time outside too, we're not absorbing enough vitamin D by being outside to actually be as beneficial as what we need. And a lot of people aren't getting it through their diet. And vitamin D, if you can be outside and you can be in the sunlight, it affects your mood, it affects your immunity, it affects like your hair, energy, like so many different things. And we're like a generation where we're inside.
And it's only gotten worse. I mean, as things get more remote and people are home more and instead, like, I mean, you have also the issue too of like everything kind of going virtual and like a lot more people working from home. Now we're not only not leaving our house, but we're also not socializing. So now you have that lack of social skills and like people don't know how to function in public places, and that's why we have a higher anxiety levels. And like that is really important too to your self-care. You have to socialize. It's not like we were meant to be like homebodies and like not talk to anyone.
That's an interesting question that I'm wondering if people will answer, because I think it would be interesting to find out, besides like maybe leaving your house to drop the kids off at school, or to like drive to work or drive home or drive to the grocery store or whatever, how much time on average is somebody spending outside? I'm going to guess it's not a lot. If you're not counting like walking to your car and walking from your car somewhere.
Like actually spent outside.
Outside. I don't think it would be that high. I mean,
no,
honestly.
I
Because I can think about until I started making a conscious effort during my day to even walk outside here when I'm at the salon. And it's like, I'm just going to take, and I'll tell Avery and I'll tell my clients, like, I'm going to go outside for 10 minutes. I just need to be outside for 10 minutes. I can't spend my entire day inside this building. But a lot of us do.
Yeah.
Just inside.
And like, I go out of my way to do it, right? Like I literally schedule an hour
a day. The walks, how much would you be out? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's like, I think other than driving,
running an
drop
errand,
the kids off to school, drive to work, come in the salon.
And how much does that even count? You're walking from your front door to your car.
None.
Most people don't even walk through a parking lot to get to their car.
Just like your garage or parking as close as possible. Like
when you drop the kids off,
minimal time.
You don't even get out of the car.
No, I'm driving up and dropping them off.
Yeah.
We spend very minimal time outside.
I do see, which I absolutely love. So I live pretty close to like I think it's the elementary school. It might be a junior high, I'm not sure. But you see parents like actually walking their kids to school every day. And it's great. Like that's awesome.
Yes, AJ, shout out to my 15-year-old. He gets very upset at me because I make him walk. But it's like, my daughter, she's in track. So she's outside after school every day. They're doing track practice. She's running around. But he is not in any sports right now. So I'm like, I want you to walk to and from school. Not
Yeah.
that I couldn't take you or pick you up, but it's important to be outside and it's important to have some kind of physical activity because we are. I know when he comes home, like it's gonna be, we're gonna play some video games, like you're inside, like at least walk to and from school.
And it's really important, and I don't feel like they do like PE like they
They
used
don't.
to.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm not, like I said, I don't know
Yeah.
what goes on in schools, but I'm pretty sure they've basically taken PE out. And that used to be huge. Like,
Yeah.
I remember in school, like, that was my favorite time because you got some energy out and, like, you weren't so just, like, falling asleep, you
Yeah.
know? Like, and
Unless I'm mistaken, now with my youngest, they have their specials where they'll do like art, music. PE is one of them.
so
Where
they
we used to have
can
PE
do it.
every day. They have it on a schedule. So instead of having like PE every day, it's like you have it on this day.
And see, I don't think
now
that's
you have
good.
music, now you have art, you have all the other specials. And then like for high school they have like lifetime sports, fitness, weightlifting and stuff like that. But I feel like growing up it'd be like we'd have our PE, we'd be out there playing kickball,
Every
tetherball,
day.
running around, you're doing different stuff, like getting
Every
that
day.
energy out. Yeah. And now it's different for sure.
Which is, it's crazy. It's
Mhm.
crazy to me that they would take that out because that's such a healthy thing.
Mhm.
And kids don't, like you said, they go home, they have a snack and then get in front of a video game or play virtual
Get on their
reality
tablet or
or
VR.
social media or whatever. But
Yeah.
they're definitely not outside.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
We probably should wrap this up.
So much that we talked about.
We can definitely do another one.
So
on this,
I
but
think in closing, my biggest thing would be I think that it's hard to say specifically what self-care is. Once again, I think it's very important to the individual person. What makes you feel good? What relieves your stress?
or what are
makes
you not doing that you could be doing?
to improve on the love that you're giving to yourself?
Yeah.
And I think that there are layers to it where it's more superficial, things that make you feel good in the moment, and things that are more for the outside, and then the things that are for the inside.
And I think really, really do the things that are important for that ground base before you worry about the superficial.
Lay that foundation, and then you worry about like the decor that you're hanging on the walls.
Yep. Determination over motivation. All
Hope that helped.
right.
And we will see you guys on the next episode of Messy on Purpose. If you have any comments, or if anybody wants to answer, how much are you outside other than just driving and going places? How much time do you spend outside? I'm
That is a
curious
good
to find
question.
out.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.